I'm Roxane Webster.
And I'm Keith Alba.
We are the owners and partners of my home team at Keller Williams.
That's right. And this is
The Honest Hour.
The Honest Hour.
So I didn't wait for you that time. Premature honesting.
Happens.
It does happen. It does happen. We talk to you about all things real estate. Not all things, but
real estate adjacent. Just kind of our opinion. And we do it in a no spin zone. Try and bring it to you. Well, Roxane does some spins.
And a ukulele. One spin and a ukulele, just one. Boy, we look forward this time of year. Every year we start seeing the National Association of Realtor data coming out, and it is awesome data. It tells us trends and
what's happening in the market on a national basis. Right?
That's right.
So
we're talking about it. This one today we're talking. So please hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell.
Right. We have a whole series that kind of we're putting together here, bringing them out. So if you're interested in the national real estate market, definitely follow Roxane's instructions and get notified when we push out more of these.
That's right. That's right. Share it with everyone. What are we talking about today, Keith?
Now we're talking inventory.
Inventory.
How many houses are out there on the market to be bought and sold?
Oh, why is this important, Keith?
Well, it goes back to your standard economics, right? Supply and demand. When you have lots of supply and low demand, that's going to affect pricing in a negative balance, right? And the inverse of that is true as well. Low supply but high demand, now you start seeing prices that are skyrocketing and massive appreciation.
Well, we sure saw that in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, right? Huge.
Looking at the slide that we'll show you here, 2021 was the lowest amount of inventory that's out there since multiple decades. Like 4 decades. This data is going back to 83, and we have not seen levels that low in that time period.
That's right. And that's one of the reasons that we saw the Hunger Games, right?
Where it was like the Cabbage Patch Day, kids of the day, right? The fights, the scratching, the clawing. That's my house. Get out of here!
Oh my God! We were seeing 5-minute showing windows, right?
Yeah.
You were told you had to be in and out of the house on a $750,000 property that your buyer's getting ready to buy, and they've got 5 minutes to look at and make.
Here's the kitchen. Here's the guest room. Here's the master. Here's this.
That's right.
Okay, we gotta go.
Oh, we've got the basement. Oh, buy it anyway, right? That's what the market was like. Just cray.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it was nuts.
Yeah, I didn't like that, by the way. I didn't like it for anybody, not for the sellers, not for the buyers. But we have got, and we continue to be in an inventory crunch.
Yeah, and looking at it, so I guess we should talk about, a natural or a balanced market, right?
That's right.
And when we're talking about the markets and the inventory, we really discuss it in terms of the
absorption.
Absorption or month supply of inventory that's out
so
there.
If we were to put another house on the market today, forever, how long would it take to sell out the current inventory?
Based off of the current buying actions or the number of properties that are going off the market on a weekly, daily basis, right? Exactly. So how long does it take to burn through the current existing inventory that's out there? So back in 2021, that was 2.3 months supply of inventory, and that was on a national level. Right. In Colorado, we were weeks supply of inventory.
Like 3 weeks
at that point. It was nuts. It was absolutely insane. But we are starting to see those inventory levels climb, right? But back to balanced market. What the experts say is about 6 months, right? Is kind of that sweet spot between buyers and sellers. If there's 6 months of inventory that's out there, then nobody's really got an advantage in the negotiation.
That's right.
You go below that number and it's considered a seller's market. You go above that number and it's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, like we were saying, 2.3 in 2021, and last year the numbers aren't completely finalized yet, but they were saying about 3.7 months of supply of inventory is what we had.
So there's a couple ways to look at that, and this year is projected to be similar, right? 3 to 4 months inventory at any given time, right? So that's one way to think of it, is that it's still technically a seller's market, right? Another way to look at it is it's almost double the time to sell a house that it was a couple of years ago.
Right.
Right. So it's again like you're seeing a reoccurring theme in a lot of our material is that it feels like a tougher market for sellers, and to a degree for the individual seller, it is a tougher market
Depending
for
on the
seller.
bias, right? If you're looking at a short-term bias, it's absolutely a little bit tougher to sell the property now.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we're still sitting at below what is considered a balanced market of inventory, and that is not likely to change significantly.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Where's the housing going to come from? Where's the inventory coming from in order to close that gap from where we're at now in order to get up to that? It's just, there's not a massive amount of homes that are currently in production that are going to hit the market this year, right? The builders aren't expected to start popping up a lot more inventory that's out there. So the reality is, we're probably going to be in a very similar market than what we've experienced the last year.
That's right. That's right. So that inventory, and that means that for the when I look at that difference, right, us still being below market, it's the same old story. If the house is well priced and it's in good condition and it looks good, that is still a very strong seller's market property.
Well, as inventory levels rise, what it means is more competition for that seller.
That's right.
Right? Before there may have been 2 other houses that are in the neighborhood that you were competing against, and now maybe it's 4.
That's right.
That are out there. And so it becomes what I like to talk to my sellers about is a positioning game, right?
That's right.
How do we position your house to be more attractive than the competition that's out there? And as inventory levels rise, it's even more important to be the one that's positioned properly.
To be properly positioned, that's exactly
So that's
it.
condition and that's pricing.
Well, because the unspoken part of the story too is that when you've got 2021 and 2022 inventory rates, sorry, any fart in the corner is going to sell if you put a for sale sign in front of it.
Luckily, I didn't jump on that buying trend, but yeah.
You didn't buy a fart in the corner. Yeah, baby. So what that means when we look at what Keith was talking about with positioning, if you've got that same 4 houses on the market in a higher inventory, you may well have one of them that doesn't sell, right?
One that fart stays in the corner.
That fart stays in the corner. It stays in the corner. It lurks in the corner. Like that one you leave in the car when you go grocery shopping, you come back, it's still there. Look at us. This is what we've come to in our honest hour discussion. So you certainly don't want to be that one that doesn't sell. So you being positioned, and further, you want to be the one that sells first of those 4 houses, because that one is the most likely to have the greatest demand, the most competition, the most people excited by it, and therefore the best price at the end of the day. So that positioning, it's counterintuitive sometimes. If you say, okay, there's 3 other houses on the market, and I'm getting ready to put mine on the market, and they're all priced at $700,000. We've got 3 houses listed at $700,000. It's really easy to say, well, I'm going to price mine at $700,000. That's the going rate. Right? Versus if I want to be the first one out the door, I may be advising that you list that at $690, because what that means is that everybody's going to come look at that house first.
Well, they're going to look at all of them for sure.
But they're going to say this one is the best deal, and then there's this weird psychological thing that kicks in where they start competing with other people for that house, and sometimes end up paying more than that $700 anyway. The greatest likelihood, and also, just because of those other 3 houses are listed for $700 doesn't mean they sell for $700.
That's right.
Right? So your highest price opportunity is going to come from being the best positioned of all the competition in your neighborhood.
Right. And so, just because the other ones are at 700, there may be some opportunities or ability to position yourself better so that you are that sweetheart, and you let somebody else be that lurker in the corner.
Let them be the lurk in the corner. We did it.
Yeah.
We brought farts into the honest hour. We it's good to have goals.
Right. Right back to third grade. That's good
right.
stuff.
So hit that subscribe button. You know this one is going to be the one that goes viral.
Yeah, probably, right?
Right? It's like
Hit the
after
bell.
all my years of being charming on the internet, what is the video I did that went viral? It was my dog's tail lifting up so you could see her tail end. Whatever. 500,000. View. Shut up. Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the notification
bell.
Yeah. Share it with your friends so everybody can laugh at our fart jokes. And we'll see you next time.